Lloyd, are you there? Morning, Lou. Morning. Can you hear me? Lou?
Hi, Stu. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Good, good. I see we have a fuzzy Lloyd here.
Yeah, Fuzzy Lloyd.
How's life treating you?
Not bad. Yeah, yesterday was really nice. We went for that walk in Waveney Park,
Uh-huh.
and my wife and I went yesterday evening up to the Cove and ate a couple of sandwiches up there, just walked around. It was nice.
Good day. Yeah, yeah. Yesterday was very nice.
Yep.
Good. Well, we got a big crowd today, Eric.
Yeah, but I think that most of them join right at 10.
Oh, yeah, it's got 4 minutes. We're early.
Yep.
I'm going to check an email. Don't go away.
Hi, Lloyd.
Hi, how are we doing? Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Lloyd.
Today I logged in. It took like 15 seconds. Sometimes it takes like 2 minutes to get the Zooms.
Hey, Lloyd.
No.
Hey, Lloyd, did you get my checks?
Yes, I did. Thank you. Well, I sent you an email.
I didn't get it. That's why I'm asking.
Oh,
Okay.
Grief.
All right. As long as I know you got them, that's all. That's
Oh, yeah, I got them that afternoon.
okay.
That evening.
Okay.
When I came home. Sorry about that. I don't know why.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, well.
I've only got right now. I only got about half the number of people as I had last year at this time.
Wow.
I need more money. I think I'll ask Steve to send out a separate email about the picnic.
How many people you got, Stu?
About 60,
Okay.
60 people.
Yeah.
So
That's understandable. Remember, the governor's threatening to reinstate the mask requirements.
Yeah, indoors though.
indoor, yeah, indoor, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they get approved for the boosters soon. Because I don't want to wait around until my shot loses its effectiveness. And then I, end up being one of those breakthrough cases that they talk about.
Well, Pfizer in today's paper was talking about asking the government to give permission to give everybody a booster shot.
Good. I've got the Pfizer, so.
Yeah, so I'm sure I have Modena, and I'm sure it's the same basic composition. So I think,
Yeah, it probably is.
so Pfizer says, okay, I'm sure we'll do it too. It's going to be like the flu.
Yeah.
Every year you get the flu shot and you hope it's effective. But maybe the only thing it really does is cuts down the severity if you do catch the flu.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So that's what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I read something online that after 2 months, the Pfizer still had 96% effectiveness. After 4, it was down to 84%. So, you know, that means after 6 months, you know, it's time for a booster. And, you know,
It's still about 65%.
yeah,
According to today's paper. So, you know, it's, if you're in an area or going to an area that has a high manifestation, let's say this Delta variant. Or by the way, there's a new Florida variant.
the Lambda.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna call it Epsilon.
Oh,
This way we get practice with the Greek alphabet,
Yeah.
you know. Well, if you know, viruses mutate, and only the survivors are the mutations. So it doesn't surprise me that you have these outbreaks of the mutations.
yep.
What do you think about this morning blurb and the Stanford advocates about the doctor really vocalize the need for a mandate as the only solution?
Yeah, the stick rather than the carrot.
The point this one here is a mandate that seems to be doesn't apply too much because people they don't believe in it. So that is one thing. Then the second is the I think I was reading years ago something about the history of the Spanish fever. Also there, the speed of the Spanish fever was equally fast. Only now we have a more detectable and historical and the ability to see what's happened almost in real time. And that's, of course, give an advantage for the production of a vaccine, but also give a headache to all the concept of general health policies, implementation and enforcement.
Yeah, but given our 24/7 news cycle, we're able to panic much quicker.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I still remember. I said, "You have a fever." My mother said, "Okay, sleep. Tomorrow we'll talk." What I'm saying, you're waiting. You are a little more prone to accept the fate. You know, what's happened, and the life goes on.
Yeah.
So Art, how are you?
Good.
You are on mute.
No, I'm not on mute.
No, Art asked me yesterday, Monday, we went to the Heart to a walk at the cove. Just to have a nice time. He brought me nice cucumbers. I thank you, Art. They're wonderful, really wonderful. Real honesty, you should give it to everybody. And he asked me a question that I think, he said, is China is going to invade Taiwan? I said, oh, wow, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big problem.
Well, the cucumber over Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah. But what's the most more important, big is the burning of the forest. You know, now you see, Joe, yesterday I saw Italy news, Sardinia is basically half burning. You know, it's a big fire around. Big fire. And they are not, all of them are not intentionally, you know, just lighting, whatever it is.
It's a big problem, not only Sardinia, but in California, North and Oregon, South, they're all on fire, you know.
You know, it's funny, we're in the 150th year, roughly, of our climate warming cycle, which runs historically 500 to 1,500 years in duration. And we're still on the ascending side of the climate warming. So,
Well,
and you know, and again, granted, everybody says, and they're probably right, that we're accelerating its effect.
sure, because there's natural and there's man-made effects of
Right.
climate.
The
So
combination of the two, of course, is a recipe for disaster. Anyway,
Well, philosophically, when are we going to become extinct like all the other things that preceded us?
let's
Yeah.
go to the votation. Let's go to the.
first our culture will disappear in the dustbin of history. And that we're rapidly
I mean, you know,
allowing to happen.
I hope we
first
don't
there was, you
disappear
know,
until
the-
that. I hope we
the
don't disappear
various-
until after the picnic. I already paid my $25.
Oh.
And I'm keeping it.
you know, the various species of man have evolved and we're continuing to evolve. So we as mankind in 1,000 years maybe are not going to exist the way we are now, or 2,000 years. It's the little winged flying turtle
Yeah, it could
is
be.
going to be extinct, and you'll end up with a non-winged swimming turtle. And
Yeah, it's true. It's true. As a lot of species in the course of history has been disappeared, and others are coming back. But the point is one, probably we are going to learn how to breathe under the water. I don't know. We have to find something.
no, we used to breathe under the water. Then we
I know.
evolved to walking and breathing in air.
We'll go back. We'll go back to home. We'll go back.
So, it's
So what I saw in the newspaper this morning about an article about nearby the Hibernian. They are building 8-store, 228 units. So is 16 units per floor, something like that. It will be a lot. And where are you going to get the water for washing and dryer? I don't know. This, Joe, you were in the government at one point. What do they think of the board? Where are getting the utility, the water, the garbage, all kinds of things?
well, I was involved with the parks. I wasn't.
I know you are not about.
I wasn't involved in government.
No, but at least you remember, do they think a better way, or just get the option? Oh, yeah, 280 units, more tax, more income, and utilities, the water. I can tell you, I was, when I went.
Water is not the problem. You could always get, I think water is. I mean, what are you going to do with the sewage?
Yeah, but also the one, yeah, 228, tight, at least 2 bathroom. You multiply the function per day. Do you know how much sewage you use?
I mean, if you got what, 4 people, 3-4 people per apartment, how many apartments are they going to talk? Are they talking about?
Yeah, quite a lot of gallons.
Maybe they should do what they do in Israel. They convert the sewage into fertilizer, and then they do great crops.
We do that already, Arcady.
Listen,
And
Joe,
it's not economically feasible.
listen, my grandfather.
I mean, you still gotta process it. That's the problem. It's not the conversion, it's the processing of the raw sewage.
Joe, but I remember my grandfather was a very ecologically savvy. He went in the field, he did the business and finished.
So what if you got a little typhoid or you got cholera? A little bit won't hurt you.
The point is, one that was very conscious, the cow, I do the same thing. So I think we have not learned too much, honestly.
I'm not coming to your house, Franco.
No, I don't have a garden. I have a terrace.
In United States, you are not allowed to do your business in the garden. I just want you to know that.
It's a federal law.
That's the regulations, yeah.
Okay.
Franco's a cliff dweller now. He throws it out the window.
Yeah. like in Naples. I think if you don't laugh, you don't solve the situation. That's the point.
Yeah.
That is a kind of. And have you read about that the gymnastic lady that basically,
Correct.
get a scare? I would say.
Well, they
Yeah,
do put a lot of pressure on those athletes.
Yeah, the point is one that you know why? Because a few days before, I saw on the TV the commercial that she was promoting for Visa. So more Visa commercial, more pressure. So the pressure is due because there is an income to be gained, not
Yeah.
left alone. The poor girl will never been left alone.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to her to have put all that pressure because she was a money-making machine for the publicity, for the commercial. And I look at also the performance of the US team on the whole is not so great. They lost on the basketball, they lost on the girls soccer. They arrived third on the gym. I don't know, probably on the other discipline they will be okay, but not so well. The fact that there was no competition, nothing for 18 months also, due to COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think? Lloyd, I see your head.
Franco, still by total number of medals, United States is #1.
Okay. I didn't look at it, but overall, I have the feeling it's not the glamour as a few years ago. They were winning everything.
Yeah,
Read quickly that one US athlete came down with COVID. Forget what team he's on now.
So out. And about this rule on the baseball or basketball, I don't know, if one of the team member has a COVID, they lose the game. Am I correct?
I don't know.
You're disqualified?
No, just move out of the way. You just can't play.
They cannot play. So basically, they miss the game, or what do they do?
Forfeit?
If one of the team on the baseball member, player is COVID, do they play?
Bench players? Don't they have backups?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Oh, they're back.
You do.
Yeah, except if it's an individual activity, but I mean, yeah, they do have backups. I mean, they don't just go with 5 basketball players. They go with a team.
Yeah, probably 10,
They have
20
at least 2 teams.
minimum. Yeah, you're right.
Indeed, indeed.
Substitution. So that's the kind of thing. So,
But the latest craze now is that born by that Japanese tennis player. I have mental issues as an excuse for subpar
I
performance.
don't know if it's
I have
an
mental strain, mental stress. This
Yeah,
is
I believe that they should be held to a
okay.
standard where they
That's
get
going to
enough
be the
time off, and enough sleep.
2 people. Remember when this Japanese woman and this American gymnast
Simone Biles. Yeah.
claimed that she had mental stress too much for her subpar performance. First, I thought she got hurt, in the vault where she fell down on her ankle. And
Sports, Lloyd, sports is a different world today.
Today on mental anxiety.
Sports are a different world today. I mean,
Yeah.
it's easy to see because these kids have been training since they've been, well, like the swimmer, he was 2 years old and they put him in the wings, water wings, and he's been training. The girl that Ledecky
Yeah,
has swam 22,000 miles in her training and everything else. It's a lot of pressure on them, but not so much the winning is if they don't win, now they start losing advertising contracts. Simone Biles is in every advertisement that you see. If just think about yourself. How did we feel in 1970 when they laid off two-thirds of our company, and we were still working, but everybody was anxious. And these kids they're kids, and they can't cope with the thought of not performing at their peak. If they win nobody remembers the silver medalist or the bronze medalist or the also ran. It's the gold medal. If they don't win the gold medal, they lose advertising.
I think it's more than that.
contracts.
Also,
So
Also, the press puts a lot of pressure on these people. Like I said, there were a lot of young kids. The press is always after them. The press often presents a lot of questions in a negative way. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. How do you feel about this? A lot of pressure. And in that particular sport, gymnastics, if your mind isn't exactly tuned and you make the slightest error, you could get seriously injured in the stuff that she does. She's up in the air, and if she misses something, she break her neck. I mean, it's very serious. It's unfortunate that she's had all this big play, largely because of the press, and it can weigh on people. It's a lot of pressure, tremendous pressure.
And Stu's, she gets up 12 feet in the air on that vault.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to
Not to go long, she's fallen 12 feet.
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, how many people fall 9 feet off a roof and get killed?
Yeah.
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 Don't go up there anymore.
Oh. But yeah, it's sports today is a different world. I mean, the pressure that's put on them from the parents, from the coaches, and as Stu said, from the media. It's they're not playing for fun anymore.
No, it's the money.
Yeah. I mean, some of the sports like running, or if you're having a bad day, so you just run slower, but you don't get hurt. But this gymnastic stuff I didn't realize until yesterday how bad it can be if your head's not in the right place.
It's almost like a chef. You go to a restaurant, has a great reputation. It's basically the chef's food that makes the difference. And that chef has to perform 100% or over 100% every single meal he makes.
Yep.
And we all know that's a very difficult achievement at best. And it's very hard to do that continuously.
But the allegory of Lloyd and the chef is great, because generally work is considered as repetitive with always a margin of error at the satisfaction of the user of the work. And the service industry, in one way, the gymnast, is a service industry, is a part of entertainment, it's part of a sport, is not a production chain of a car or other things. So therefore, the fine line of a performance is always at a high level. You have to be performing at a high level. Therefore, the risk of making error is higher than you perform at a low level. If you are putting a flower in a pot of dirt, if you put left and right, it doesn't make any difference. There's no consequences. But very consequences are at the performance and have a user of the entertainment business. That are the people on the other side of the TV. So at the moment you put that element of a performance in any human economical or entertainment activity is that risk. So, Stu, how's it going, the water there behind you?
That's Cummings Beach. It's going great.
I see the tide coming up. Go inside the house.
Where am I now, Franco?
You are in Naples.
No, close,
Salerno.
close.
Rome.
Getting
I don't know where you are. You are in
Sorrento.
Sorrento. Oh, yes. Yeah. But I don't see the sea at this point. I don't see the water. No, on the right side, I see the balcony of the water.
Joe,
Yeah.
Vesuvius over your left shoulder? Or
Yeah,
right shoulder?
that's the, no,
Sorrento is
it's not
beautiful.
Vesuvius. That's the hills along the coastline.
And far
On
in
the
the back,
part,
it's not Vesuvius either?
No,
no,
Okay.
it's more
Vesuvius would be that way.
that way, in
That
front of you.
way.
That way. But you have on your left side, you have a balcony looking on the water, so you see the
Yeah.
water. The rain. Yeah, I see. But Sorrento
Yeah,
is a
see?
beautiful town. It's a beautiful
That's
town.
the road. This is the road from Naples to Sorrento.
Joe, if
I
you're
was
in
in Naples
Sorrento,
Harbor for a year in the Navy. Saw Vesuvius every day.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're in Sorrento, can you smell the lemons?
Huh.
Yeah, probably.
No, but you can drink the limoncello.
You bet.
Oh, limoncello, good. But Stu, yeah, I see you are cooking tonight some duck, some geese.
Geese, yeah.
Geese, yeah. At Cummings.
But I know, I like it, little geese.
I think some of these Canadian geese just stay here year round. Because
I listen, I saw yesterday.
yesterday.
Oh, yeah, they're all
Violent.
over the place. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
walking is a dangerous sport.
yeah.
It is.
Of course, I went to buy bike at the Greenwich Point. And of course, in that area is very rich. I saw a car. I said, what is the car I was doing here? With a picture of a little geese. I say, geese control. And they have a dog. They go on the front line, front shore house, where is the 2 acres of the grass, the water, the boat, everything. But there are 2 geese. So they call a service of somebody came with a kind of a shepherd dog, go inside and chase the geese away.
Uh-huh.
So I think it could be a business. Yes, Jerry.
No, I mean, I didn't raise my
Okay.
hand.
I was no, but I think the question of the control of a geese with a dog is something is done. So if you have a geese in your backyard, too, you can use a dog.
So if you put dogs in Cummings Beach enough to control the geese, now you have dog poop instead of geese poop.
Yeah. Now you've got a dog problem.
Right.
And I know, but I don't know if you have been downtown in front of the Evan. Anybody has gone downtown in front of the Evan Theater? Yeah, probably Jerry, you see. In the evening is basically a dog shitting area, basically. Everybody with a dog goes there. And every morning at 9 or 7 or 8 o'clock, there is a few young, beautiful girls going to do their yoga. So a few days ago, I said, listen, do you know there is in the evening, there is a dumping ground. And now you are using for your yoga mat. So I don't know. I think if it's a dog become a nuisance. Okay. So the town is still the same. Okay. So nobody has any important joke?
Important joke.
Important joke, you know, something.
It's an oxymoron.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's allowed.
Yeah.
But the Saturday Night Alive is an important joke, you know, but it's not an oxymoron.
And I got a question.
Yeah,
Can anybody define this critical race theory for me? I have no idea what it really means.
Well, I read about it, and according to this theory, whites are automatically oppressors and blacks are automatically oppressed.
where did you read this theory? Who wrote this theory?
That's
I
the
don't know what
theory.
it is.
But there is, you know, historically, you know, I go back to what Joe was saying about genetical mutation. You know, in historical terms, humanity has developed the races, and the races is not because we want to be a different form or shape, because each race has is a capacity to dominate in other races for survival purpose. So at the end, you know, if you go back on the history of humanity, somebody could pull out to say race A, B, and C are better than C, D, and F. You know, unfortunately, there is a biological element also on the human race, and that is but also fortunately, the mind and the intelligence has overcome and repressed or controlled this natural tendency. But at the end, you go inside the how we are made, there is a sense of always in one race to be better than the other race for survival reason. That is my thinking.
Hmm.
You happy now, Lou?
I am. You're sitting in front of the Bay of Naples, I assume.
Right.
Now, April. Oh, great. Oh, beautiful sunset. Ah, yeah. The part is one in Naples, when you arrive
Actually,
in
that's
Naples.
sunrise, Franco.
Oh, you're right.
It's at
Yeah,
dawn.
it's dawn. You are taken from the other side of the north side of the bay. Yeah, from the north side of the bay, looking southeast.
Yeah.
And when you arrive in Naples, it's beautiful to see. But when you arrive in Naples, it's a tough city. It's a tough city.
Yeah. Still got damage from World War II, at least when I was there, it did. That was really.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think he has a damage from the Romans, the Muslim, everybody passed through. The Greek, you know, Naples means new polis, in Naples, a new city in Greek, and therefore. But what's interesting in Naples is the water. There is an aqueduct. I don't know if you know, Joe. There is an aqueduct that came from the back a little mountain. It was built by Romans. Is still used to bring water to Naples. Somebody told me, I went to see once, and it's incredible. Still there with a stone. Of course, they put a pipe instead of a channel, you understand? But the structure is still there. So with the water, that is interesting. But the military, the Americans, they liberated the Naples. You know, they came up from Sicily at one point, you know, during the war. So, and you remember the famous movie of the neorealism of Rossellini, Shusha, and others, you know, about the neorealism after the war of the, you know, one was a paysan. The name was a paysan. It's a nice movie, They describe the relationship between the occupying forces of the military, and then there is a scene, one of these black young Italian Shusha, you know, basically, you know, kids in the street take the big black guy, a soldier, to a bordel, and so of course they want the money in advance. And then, of course, the story is him to be ripped off for his own money. Okay.
Franco, are you from Sorrento originally?
No, I'm from the upper class, Florence.
Oh, you don't.
The
you
way
don't
he's
as-
talking, he's
you
a
don't-
Northern Italian.
Oh, so you don't associate with
Listen.
Southern Italians.
No, from a Florence, Florence, the word started in Florence, was created in Florence, and is all the everything you own came from Florence. So I'm the center of the universe. Joe, don't worry.
You know, Frank, I want to tell you, I went for a swim in the sea in Sorrento, right? And it was so dirty. And this was many, many years ago.
Where did you go?
Is it so
Sorry?
dirty?
Where did you go? Sorry, I didn't hear about
In
it.
Sorrento, I went to swim in the sea, and it was dirty. There was so much dirt and rubbish in the sea. Is it still dirty there?
Oh, I think they have improved a lot. They really, there was a period in the 70s where there was basically raw sewage going in the water, all around. But since we came to the European Union, there was a lot of the rules, regulations, and the Adriatic and the Mediterranean beach are quite clean, very clean, very clean.
Yeah.
No, at least now. Yeah.
In fact, when I was there in 1973, it was a cholera epidemic that
Yes.
came from
Yeah.
the mussels.
Yeah, that was because of the mixing of the sewage went under the Gulf, and then the mussels, of course, get the cholera. So no, it has been a lot of infrastructure work done, and like the bill we are going to get from the Senate on infrastructure, roads, sewage will be repaired. So basically, I think my view is every 25 years, every generation, any nation should spend more to restructure, to upgrade their own structures. You cannot continue, to live without upgrading, whatever, sewage, roads, electricity, water, all kinds of things. So I think it's natural, in my view.
Charlie, today they show devastation in South Africa, in Dublin, all these riots. What happened over there? Do you know?
It's a tragedy. It's a real tragedy. You cannot imagine the damage that has been done to that country. Because what happened was the Zulu president, who was very corrupt, refused to come to the court. So they sentenced him to a prison sentence. So the Zulus got mad and they started burning and torching. I don't know. I think in almost every mall in South Africa where the Zulus live, that means that's in Natal, which Durban. I don't know if you heard of Durban. In Johannesburg, they started breaking into the places, looting, burning, and now here's the result of all that. There's no stores to buy any food. I can show you a picture after all this where they are lining up for about 10 or 20 blocks just to get to one store to get some groceries.
Wow.
It's a tragedy. They've ruined their own infrastructure, and they all realize it now. And to rebuild all this is going to take many, many years. They are in serious trouble because of this. Okay, the army has been brought out now. They brought things under control, but I think they can see the damage that they've done to themselves.
It's real tragedy, it's such a devastation and such a economical, damage, tragedy.
Yeah, it is a shame. Honestly, I think even everybody who's got any sense, and even the people who've ruined the situation for themselves, they have nowhere to go to purchase any food or any groceries. It's become an emergency situation, and they have to rebuild.
So it looks like after this transformation of the country where power was democratically changed, it looks like they still didn't do any good system, similar to Russia, you know, it fall again in dictatorship.
It's not a dictatorship, but it's become a situation where there's so much corruption that they can't really progress. It used to be the economic hub of Africa, but now they are struggling to maintain enough food for themselves.
But I remember, you know, I met one of the meeting, the question after Mandela was elected, all kind of things, and really a country that unfortunately for historical terms is based on a tribal line is a very shaky ground. You know, things are, when you start to have a tribal approach in anything, like almost was happening here on the 6th of January, the democratic and the legislative progress and the economic progress is completely at halt. And you can see now what's happening in South Africa, could happen in any other place in the world. If that tribal view and the sectorial view of your world and what you want for you or your family prevail, become contagious, they become basically a driving force of the people on the street, riots or things like that. You know the difference between a normal life and a revolution is a spark, is 1 second. You know, 1 second everybody is in line perfectly, 2 seconds after everybody is burning. You know, that in time, that things can happen so fast that they are out of control. And that's the risk, for instance, of the 6th of January, the risk of Gilets jaunes in France, whatever is that element, there is a risk of out of control. And I'm sorry for the South Africa.
Franco, you can't compare South Africa to any other country. Thank God for Mandela. There was a peaceful change in the country. Absolutely, it was an amazing U-turn by the apartheid government. When I say U-turn, they changed 100% in the other direction and accepted majority rule. But
yes,
now the majority has to rule, and the majority obviously are looking for affirmative action, right?
Yeah.
So we have a system there which has to rely on the government, which is always busy with affirmative action.
Yes, but also is you see the deprivation of, you know, I don't agree with what we have done, but the tribal of the Zulu could be Zulu, the Washa, others, you know, the Bantu, others, but also when you have a sense of to managing your resources on a tribal concept, that means first you satisfy yourself. That means giving favor, corruptions, and affirmative action. You undermine the process of the governance. And that is what's happened when you divide a country. You have a country that is based on the tribal line. That is what happened. It could happen anywhere, including the States, Italy, Europe, everywhere. But I agree, Mr. Mandela, we have Mr. Mandela like we have a George Washington once in a century, unfortunately.
Well, you know, this represents what happens when you have a one-party state. It takes time. The African National Committee in the beginning, under Mandela, achieve, like you said, 100% turnaround in attitude. However, they took advantage of the fact it's a one-party state, and they enriched a select clique, enriched themselves at the expense of everybody else. And everybody else didn't get the opportunities that this unelected clique was able to achieve. And we see the results of it. In fact, we don't even have to go to South Africa to see that. We can look at California, New York, Illinois, and even Connecticut for some aspect of the same one-party state attitude that permeates all decisions, and only the elitists within those groups are prospering.
Lloyd, what you are just described is what I call the tribal management of your life. Is a tribe. A tribe is defined as an entity that is the same language, same thinking, same creed, same so. And therefore, when you have this monolithic approach, you have what I call become an insular politics. There is no exchange. There is no justice. There's a lot of things that can go out. Of course, if you are like Bahrain or Dubai or of a place where is one king and 2,000 people, of course you can give a peace because it's small. When the population becomes larger, you cannot satisfy everybody.
But corruption is the future of, I think, every country, because it's very difficult to eliminate, because business require, forming coalitions and partnerships. So it's very difficult to to fight it,
There's a little bit of a difference in South Africa. There are 13 tribes in South Africa, but one of the biggest tribes is the Zulus. Mandela was not a Zulu. Mandela was a Xhosa. The new president is not a Zulu. And the problem arose because the previous president, who was a Zulu, was extremely corrupt. But even with all the money that he took and his cronies took, they're trying to eradicate corruption. And by that, they have to charge the previous president with corruption. Now, that didn't go well with the Zulus. And unfortunately, they demolished their own infrastructure when they got mad at the imprisonment of their previous president.
Yeah.
Let's talk about nicer things, guys. We won't solve the world's problems, that's for sure.
No, but that is great, of course.
You know what, I'd like to say something. I don't live in Stamford, so a lot of the things that are discussed are a little above my head because you talk about this place and that place. And the only thing I know about Stamford is that our company had a branch and I had to come to the branch, which was in Elm Street, just down the road from our church, the church. I spent a year there because the job I had was in Hartford, Connecticut. So what I know about Stamford is the office and of course the diner around the corner, the little diner, that's where I used to have lunch. And I had to travel to Hartford because I had a major project that I was working on over there. But what I must say is that the way I learned about the SMAS is I was on a cruise. And on the cruise, I was saying to one of the members that were there, he said, "What do you do when you've retired?" I said, "Well, I'm a member of the Old Guard of White Plains. We have about 150 members." And I explained everything to him. He said, "I know that in Stamford, they have a senior men's association, he said. So when I got back, I went onto Google, of course, and I saw all these clubs, Italian clubs, this club. And then I saw a club, and I saw that they were located in this temple. So I thought I'll walk in there. And as I walked in, of course, Bud got hold of me and said, would you like to be a member? And I said, well, let me see what it's about. I sat down and listened to it, and I was very impressed with SMAS. I can tell you from the first word, especially with Laurie Price. And I went to a meeting and I listened to Laurie, and I was very impressed with her lecture. So I just want to compliment you guys. You really run a wonderful organization, because I know what the previous place was like, and I know what your place is like. And I must say, it's so well run, and it's a pleasure to be a member of SMAS.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're glad to have you as a member, Charlie. You've contributed, you've been part of us. It's a pleasure.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't contribute very much, because by that time I'm too old to help you guys with anything that's required. So, and you do it so well, I couldn't improve on that.
No one's too old. You're probably one of the younger guys.
Yeah, that's why it's called senior.
Everybody that contributes, regardless of their age, there's always something that can be done. So.
Yeah, and Charlie, do you know what you help us with? You help us with your intelligence. You know so much. And
oh no! Don't do anything. No personal compliments, yeah, guys. You're all wonderful seniors, and I like listening to you and your comments.
Well, what's nice about our organization that it's we draw on a diverse group of talents, put it that way, and everybody contributes to the organization. It's really, I mean, I felt the same way when I joined in 2013. I came to a few meetings, and the speakers were great. The activities are wonderful. So, it is a great organization, and we do serve, fill a need.
Yeah, I also
talking about filling a need, I'm going to put in a plug and probably get it more out there. About 7-8 years ago, I got approached when I was on the Park and Rec Commission. Special Olympics Connecticut needed a new venue for their bocce tournament in September. And they came to us and wanted to use Scalzi Park, and we approved it. And then they were looking for some volunteers, but they were primarily sponsored by or supported by BIC Corporation from Milford. BIC has had a change in their corporate management right up from the top down. And this year they've pulled out. So I got a call from the people that are involved with the Special Olympics Connecticut, the organization, and they're hoping to get volunteers for their bocce tournament in Scalzi Park. I believe it's, I gotta check the date, but I think it's the second week of Saturday of September. And generally it's from 9 to 1 o'clock. They give you lunch, but you're helping the special athletes with their skills competition. And they're really simple. I mean, you're just handing them the bocce balls, and some people are retrieving the balls and keeping score. But they're looking to make up, they generally had a good group from BIC supporting, and now they're looking to get volunteers. So I'm wondering, is there something that I think we should pursue? I'm involved with the Knights of Columbus, and we usually get a dozen or so people, and if we can get 15 or 20 people from our group coming out, that would be a great help. So, I'd like to hear your opinions on that. What do you think? Is there something that we should pursue? And in our giving back to the community and being an integral part of the Stamford community. So I'm looking for,
I think it's absolutely something.
I'm
We should
sorry,
do it.
what did you say, Bill?
We should do it. Absolutely. You know, it's a very short period of time,
Yeah, it's 3-4 hours tops.
and you know, just take the guys that played golf. You know, approach them first. It's a Saturday morning. They're not going to be at Sterling.
Yeah.
So
Anybody else have an opinion on it?
I think, not only that, Joe, but our role as individuals in the community, of course, depends each one of us. As a group, we have an incredible visibility feedback from the songers with the old folks. It's not possible. Any opportunity where, as a group, we can give hands back as individual, as a group, especially to these kids. They have and they have some shortcoming on their physical activity or mental. The Special Olympic, I think, is something to be done. Is a Saturday 7 down. You every day, what it is, it depends on, but it's in conflict with a picnic, or don't know. Just to see what the time is, and we can put a list to send to Stu or to you, and send, I'm available from 9 to 10, from 10 to 12, whatever it is.
Actually,
and then-
once you're there, you get into a routine, and so it's you got to figure you're there for 4 hours, and I tell you, it's a lot easier than cleaning up the park.
Yeah,
So
I think we should. Yeah, sure.
Joe, I think you have to send
Go
out
ahead.
something to the members. You only have 10 people here.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to get a feel. Definitely got to
think
send
it's
out to the
something we
members.
should
I
do.
mean, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not asking right now to for people to work at it. I'm just asking, well, should we bring it up to the membership?
Sure.
I agree.
I
Joe,
think it's a good idea.
Joe, excuse me. I'd apologize. I had a call from my doctor. What were you asking? I didn't hear the thing you were asking about.
Special Olympics.
The Special Olympics, Connecticut Special Olympics has their fall bocce games at Scalzi Park. And BIC Corporation used to be their major supporter, and they've pulled out due to different management now. And they called me looking, the Special Olympics called me looking to see if we can put together volunteers with the Knights of Columbus. And then, I'm thinking even our organization to get, as many guys that we can, even wives that, want to help can come out. And it's, picking up the bocce balls as the athletes throw them, measuring the distances. It's really simple, and it's so gratifying. I mean, to see these athletes, various skill levels, participating in the joy they get. Vicariously, you get the pleasure of watching them, and you helping.
No, okay.
So I was wondering if it's something that we should put out to our members to see if we can get as many volunteers as we can.
All right. Sounds like a worthwhile thing to pursue. Yeah.
How many volunteers do they need?
Well, they generally had, they end up with 10 lines of, it's not like a regular bocce game. They throw the ball to a target. so to speak. And there's usually 10 lines, and you need about 4 people per line. 5 people per line, because who's measuring, who's helping them, or they're sitting down, they call their name out, you bring them up and somebody hands them the ball, and like I say, there's some very the skill levels and the ability levels vary, and you got to measure it, and one person keeps score, so that takes 5, so that's about 50 there, plus around, so it's they're looking to get maybe 75 people helping out, all total. And it's so they take over that whole. Then they have the actual unified games where they're playing actual bocce games at the bocce courts at Scalzi, but this is out on the ball field. So it's all right. I think I'll bring it up to the membership, and we'll see if we get anybody.
By the way, are you 9 of us on right now? Is everyone signed up for the picnic?
Yep.
Yep.
I see some. If you haven't sent money, I need money. 25.
Spend the money.
Send money.
Money. In closing, what do you think about the current mayoral race in Stamford and the direction it's going? Anybody have any opinions?
Well, I think we ought to ask Jerry his opinion, because Joan was out at the walk yesterday with a petition sign up in hand. I guess, so what is it, Jerry? Mayor Martin wants to have a
Primary.
yeah,
A primary.
primary.
He needs 2,000, I think the number is 2,000
That's what Joan
signatures
said, yeah.
in order to have a primary. He has not been chosen by the Democratic Committee, which I think is, to me, was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
8 years of his work and his hard work, the Democratic Committee has decided to go in a different direction and chose Caroline Simmons as their nominee. David feels that he should have a primary, and he needs 2,000 signatures, or that approximate number. I think that's the number.
I think it was like 17 to 1,800, but as the real, but you got to get about 2,000 because a lot of them get challenged.
Yeah.
Now these have to be all Democratic voters,
They have to be
Yeah.
Democratic voters.
Have to be registered.
registered Democrats. Yeah.
Democrats, yes.
Can
That's
we do
correct.
that online somehow?
No, it has to be done in person.
Yeah.
Joan is running around. She can visit you and your Joan if you'd like to get your signed, if you'd like to have signed up. And she has a schedule of who to visit. So I'll put you on the list, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So this is not a given that I thought the primary was a given, but I guess it's not.
No, you got to get
No.
you got to get petitions to
Oh,
run against. The given is that if you're nominated by the party, you don't have to get signatures.
That is correct.
So it seems like, excuse the politicizing, but a feminist thing. I mean, it was 19 to 21 vote. And it seemed like some of them were voting because they like Martin, but gee, you have this woman voting, that tipped the scale, the fact that she was a woman.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
It's interesting also, many people thought that Bobby Valentine would be supported by the Republicans, but the Republicans have already nominated somebody. So
He didn't want the Republican support.
say that again, I'm sorry.
He did not want the support of a party.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, he didn't get it.
Well, I mean, he didn't go after it. He so they had to put, you got to put somebody up, otherwise you lose your slot in the,
And the paper.
whatever they call it, to qualify as a party. So, but it looks like it's just, I mean, who is this guy?
Corsello.
Corsello, yeah.
And his name is Corsello.
Yeah.
And I understand he is a terrific drummer.
He's a musician. He's 74 years
Drummer.
old.
It's a
The
very-
drummer,
Yeah.
that kind of drummer.
Former cop,
I don't know.
but I think it's, it looks like it's just a token
Well,
name,
still make-
you know,
still
in
makes it a
effect,
three-way race, because there will be those who will not vote for a Democrat, who will not vote for Bobby, and will vote Republican, and
Yeah.
it'll be interesting
it should be, yeah.
for a
But,
change.
yeah, that was surprising, and but yeah, just a
However,
question:
the
Did David
change of the population.
and Dan Malloy, they didn't see eye to eye, if I'm correct, right?
That's correct.
Right.
They did not see eye to eye, and I think
Yeah, Slava.
the DCC was loaded with Malloy supporters.
But that's Malloy hasn't been involved. Oh, you're talking from the state level.
Well, Malloy's still involved in politics.
I don't know how much
They
vote-
hold grudges.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
But anyway, we see the race, but Joe, however, don't you think that this announcement reflect also the change of the demographic on Stamford? Seems to be the city become more younger and more, I'll say, more prone to a change than to the status quo. And probably these represent one of these signs that people want to change. I don't know.
I think the younger people in Stamford are not as involved in Stamford politics. I think they
Yeah,
are more
correct.
involved in New York politics than in Stamford, and I'm not sure they will be coming out en masse to vote. I think it's the residents, the more permanent residents, who will shape this election. But
yeah, I think, my thing is, you're aware that I had my fallouts with David when I was on the commission. We didn't exactly see eye to eye, but I tell you, I got a lot of respect for him with the way he handled the COVID situation in the last year.
Yeah, that's true. Cannot be denied. The Stanford has become a good example on how during the crisis everybody was working. Yeah, nobody can deny that.
We shall see.
the primary should be very interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be.
Okay.
3.
Okay, that's 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry, 11:03.
Yeah.
11:03, 11:02 or 3. Okay, by the way. Okay, have a nice weekend, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, it's thinking about staying safe and be careful. Don't take any chances. We'll see everybody next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Я считаю, что ты прав. Я с ним отдельно буду беседовать и спрошу у него. Не имеешь. Это верно. Хорошо, Слава, ладно. Ну, завтра пятница. Да, я завтра тоже буду, да. Ну, да, ну нет, не 12:30. Ну, в час 30 неплохо, да, если тебя это устраивает. Да, хорошо. Да. Ну, да, и я тебе даже поднесу в подарок 2 огурца со своего огорода. Ну ладно, тогда мне нечего приносить, потому что, да. Ясно. Дело в том, что в этом году помидоры у меня не получились. Да. Знаешь, я не специалист в агротехнике, оказалось, что это наукоемкая специальность, и углубляться в эту науку у меня тоже нет желания. Вот. Нет, я не очень хорошо понимаю. Единственное, что связывают это с климатом, с почвой, я не знаю. Ладно, неважно. Хорошо. Слава, если тебя это время устраивает, я не знаю, во сколько ты обычно кушаешь ланч. Вот. Все тогда, ладно. Ну, всего, будь здоров.